For years, personal items were treated casually: a purse, a backpack, a laptop bag, a tote. As long as nothing looked extreme, most travelers passed without question. Many people built their packing habits around this flexibility. In 2026, that flexibility has largely disappeared. Airlines around the world are enforcing personal item rules more strictly than ever before. Travelers are being stopped at gates, asked to consolidate bags, forced to check items unexpectedly, or denied boarding when issues cannot be resolved in time. This has left many passengers confused, frustrated, and convinced that rules are being applied unfairly. In reality, something much larger has changed. In this video, we explain why airlines are stricter about personal items now, what is driving this shift, and how travelers can adapt without stress or surprises. This is not about punishment, it is about system pressure. What airlines actually mean by personal item. A personal item is not a vague category. Airlines define it specifically as one small item that fits fully under the seat, without expanding into shared cabin space. This usually includes a small backpack, a purse, a laptop bag. What it does not include anymore is flexibility. Items that once passed as personal items are now counted as carry-ons if they are bulky, are overfilled, contain rigid structures, or do not fit fully under the seat. Airlines no longer judge by intention, they judge by size and impact. Aircraft cabins have changed, seats are slimmer, under-seat space is smaller, overhead bins fill faster. At the same time, flights are fuller. In 2026, airlines operate with very high load factors. This means nearly every seat is filled, and nearly every passenger brings at least one bag. When personal items creep into carry-on territory, the system breaks. Stricter enforcement is a response to limited space, not traveler behavior. Boarding delays cost airlines money. When too many passengers carry multiple items, overhead bins fill early, bags must be reshuffled, gate checks increase, and boarding slows. Even small delays create ripple effects. In 2026, airlines are penalized more heavily for delays. As a result, gate staff are instructed to prevent problems before they start. Personal item enforcement is one of the fastest ways to protect boarding speed. Many boarding decisions are now automated. Gate scanners, boarding systems, and load management tools track the number of bags, cabin capacity, and item categories. When personal items exceed limits, systems flag it. Gate agents have less discretion than before. What once depended on judgment, now depends on rules coded into systems. Modern travel habits changed what people carry. These days, many personal items now include things like electronics, chargers, batteries, accessories, and honestly, just a lot denser contents than before. A backpack that looks small can actually weigh more and take up more space than a traditional carry-on. Airlines, they assess impact, not just appearance. If an item interferes with cabin flow or storage, well, it becomes a problem. Wearable and attachable items have created new issues too. Some travelers try to work around limits using things like clipped pouches, neck pillows with storage, wearable organizers, or even stacked personal items. In earlier years, these often went unnoticed. But in 2026, they're flagged quickly. Airlines now count total volume, not how items are attached. Anything that adds to the overall load can be treated as an extra item. Personal items, they really do affect safety. Items that, stick out, block aisles, protrude under seats, or shift during flight, these all create hazards during turbulence or emergencies. Airlines are required to ensure cabins remain clear, and this has led to a stricter interpretation of what qualifies as acceptable underseat storage. For years, enforcement varied by airport, route, airline, and even individual staff. This inconsistency frustrated travelers and staff alike. In response, many airlines standardized enforcement. That standardization feels stricter, but it is actually more consistent. What changed is not the rule, it is the consistency. Personal item enforcement feels personal. Travelers often think that others are getting away with it, that staff are singling them out, or that the rules change suddenly. But in reality, enforcement depends on things like flight fullness, bin availability, and the stage of boarding. A bag, allowed early in boarding, may be rejected later, and this creates the illusion of unfairness. Most personal item checks happen at the gate because, well, that's where cabin capacity is now visible. Boarding pressure is highest, and time is limited. Gate staff have to resolve issues quickly. If consolidation or checking is not possible, boarding may be denied. This isn't about punishment, it's just logistics. Many travelers, honestly, misunderstand how limits work together. Airlines typically allow one carry-on and one personal item. But when a personal item exceeds limits, the traveler effectively has two carry-ons, and that imbalance forces staff to intervene. The earlier this is resolved, the smoother boarding becomes. In 2026, trends point toward fuller flights, tighter schedules, increased automation, and higher safety scrutiny. These pressures are not going to decrease. Personal item enforcement is now a regular part of airline operations, not just a temporary phase. Travelers who adapt, well, they experience fewer issues. Prepared travelers choose truly compact personal items, avoid overfilling bags, eliminate attachable accessories, pack electronics efficiently, and even test underseat fit at home. They just assume enforcement will be strict, not flexible. If staff question a personal item, the best response is to remain calm, follow instructions, consolidate if possible, and avoid arguing. Escalation rarely helps since time pressure is really the deciding factor. Personal item habits affect boarding speed, stress levels, and travel confidence. Small adjustments can prevent repeated problems. The most successful travelers in 2026 aren't necessarily minimalists, they're realistic. Airlines aren't stricter about personal items to inconvenience travelers, they're responding to system limits. Understanding this shift removes frustration and lets travelers adjust expectations before even reaching the airport. In the next video, we'll explain why late boarding is happening more often in 2026, and how timing now affects boarding outcomes more than ever.